Good morning, everybody. Got your coffee? I got mine. One of my followers told me yesterday, when I see your video pop up, I don't hit play until I get myself a cup of coffee. I got something I want to say, but before I say it, I want to say thank you to Gilda Brock. Thank you so much. You're always so supportive, and I appreciate you. I really, really do. And speaking of appreciative supporters, I appreciate all of you, but I feel like I just have to point out that today is a delivery day, and that's when we take the boxes, my husband and I, to the homebound seniors. And I was afraid I wasn't going to have enough soup, and so I thought I was going to have to tell the other Tracy, okay, we're not going to have enough to go around, because I don't want to give a box full of unhealthy things to seniors. You know what I'm saying? That just aren't the healthiest. And so I didn't think I would have enough to go around. Then Shirley, just boxes of soup. And the seniors really like that. And then low sodium options. Chef's kiss. And then those throws. Almost every one of the seniors today, with the exception of one, will be able to either get a throw or a blanket in their box. And you sent a whole crock pot, because you said before your father transitioned, bless him, that his crock pot and his throw, he loved those. I don't know if I ever told you, but my husband's mother, who also transitioned a few years ago, her name was Shirley too, and she was quite the blessing as well. And he always asks me whenever I talk about you, or he hears me say Shirley in one of my videos, because he watches my videos too, and he says, did you ever tell her that my mom's name was Shirley? And I was like, no, I never told her. One day I'll get to it, and today's the day. So she was quite the blessing as well. You all are. You really are. With that being said, let's get right to it. It doesn't matter how many times I say that this platform was created by a black woman for black people. You are always going to have white people who are going to come in and center. It doesn't matter. You're always going to have, and these are your white people. These are not your, your covert racists. Your overt racists. These are your covert racists. Because I really do not think, there are like a lot of white people, listen, they don't understand all of the nuance involved in racism. And there are a lot of black people who are the same way, believe it or not. They are victims of racism, but they do not understand a lot about racism, because they don't read books. They do not have friends who have a higher conscious level. They do not talk to other people who are smarter than they are. Well, should I say they don't listen to other black people who are smarter than they are. And that's one of the things that you have to do when in your circle. You have to fill it with people who are smarter than you are, because you have to be in a state of being willing to be coachable and constantly learning. And that's literally how you raise your consciousness. You have to be deliberate in that. And the same thing holds true for white people and their racism. I have done a video in the last, I'll say, week or so. I've done a video that talks about white people getting down in my comments and centering themselves, and I've done videos about white people asking black people, particularly black women, to manage their feelings. Yesterday, do you remember yesterday's morning coffee talk? Yesterday's morning coffee talk, I talked about how I will not be apologizing. I'm unapologetic, basically, and I won't be apologizing for people's feelings and shit. And then I also talked about reading literacy. Nowhere did we talk about racism too much, or did we talk about the Trump administration or politics or any of that. And I left the comment up so that you can see a perfect example of what it looks like when a white woman who thinks she is not a racist comes into the comments and centers herself. And because she doesn't understand enough about her inherent racism. She doesn't understand how that was racist. Now, in a nutshell, I'll sum up what she said. That's what I'm talking about, right? And then she comes into the comments and she starts talking about, and I'm going to go back and look for that comment after I give you time to look at it so that you can see. And white people who are quietly watching, you go back too so that you can see an example. Listen to the video if you got time, and then listen to where this white woman came out of no motherfucking where talking about her feelings in this election. In my comments, in my video, where I am pretty much talking to black people mostly. Not exclusively, but mostly. I'm talking about black community issues. And she starts talking about how, in a nutshell, the election has her crying every day. She's in a fetal position. Then she goes on to talk about her proximity to POC and a black auntie, something about a Vietnamese cousin, yada, 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 fucking yada, yada, yada. This is why, exactly why, that comment is why I hate it when white people engage with my platform. Because you all have not deconstructed your racism to the point where you don't even understand how that type of shit is problematic. It is. Black people talking to each other. And here comes a white woman talking about her fucking feelings. Y'all don't have, I think it's really suspicious that y'all don't seem to have, as liberal as y'all try to come across in our comments, because listen, I take it all in. It ain't just what the fuck you saying to me in a moment. I take in what I'm saying that you interrupted. I take in what it is you're saying, all of the nuance in between the lines. So she's coming across like this liberal white woman because she wants me. Now, she brought up the POC people because she wants me to know she's not a racist, and that, you know, she means no harm, even though she's being completely harmful in this moment. Because what you're doing is you're interrupting a conversation that black people are having with each other to center yourself and your fucking feelings. That's harmful. And it's racist. And she wants to talk about how this election is making her feel. Let's talk about that. Because again, y'all ain't got no friends, no liberal white friends that y'all can go to brunch with, that y'all in book club with, that y'all in community with, that y'all can have these discussions with. Because this is what my platform is about. It's about black people trying to have really nuanced discussions about how to move forward, what we need to be doing for our communities, how we need to get back to loving each other. And that got interrupted, that conversation, by a white woman who centered her feelings. And this is again how you all expect us to manage our feelings. Because she centered herself, she centered her feelings, and what she expected me to do was to come down in the comments and say, oh, it's okay. No, bitch, it ain't. It's not okay that you're interrupting this discussion and talking about some shit that we ain't even discussing right now, because you want me to manage your feelings and your emotions because you're in a fetal position crying. Do I need to say it outright? I don't give a fuck. I don't care. Let me tell you why I don't care. I don't care because yesterday, I was listening to one of my black girlfriends tell me about her experience in a grocery store yesterday where she was physically pushed by a white woman and told that the party was over. These are the discussions and the feelings that I am available for. Because you as a white woman in white skin, you're never going to go through that. It don't matter who the fuck you voted for. Whether you voted for Trump or whether you voted for Harris. It doesn't matter who the fuck you voted for. Nobody is going to be doing no shit like that to you. Your sons will be able to walk down the street unbothered and unchecked. Even if they wild out on the police will see and recognize your child's humanity, but not ours. This is what we have to navigate in the coming months, and it's already starting for us. It's already beginning for us. Yeah, you're going to be inconvenienced economically. And yeah, if you care about your woman's bodily, your bodily autonomy, you're going to be inconvenienced there. But you ain't going to die because you black. Your daughters are safe walking down the street, sleeping in their beds in their own homes. No one's going to show up with a no-knock warrant. Your kids can call 911 and not have to think twice about it. You can go to a doctor, even though they're taking away your bodily autonomy, and you can tell them that you're in pain and you'll be believed. These people who have won this election and voted for this man are showing up and showing out on their jobs. Their jobs as police officers, firefighters, nurses, doctors, lawyers, judges. They're showing up, and their racism just increased. It went up levels. We can't stand in line in the grocery store and mind our fucking business without being attacked. And you want me to sit up and coddle your fucking feelings? Bitch, please. Please stop. That shit is racist as fuck. I don't give a fuck about your fucking feelings. Fuck you and fuck your feelings. That kind of thought process where you feel like black people, you are entitled to black people's emotional labor, that's on the same scale, the same spectrum. It may not be on the, within the same, but it's on the same spectrum. It may be some inches or some feet away from each other, apart from one another, but it's on the same scale, baby, of your great-great-grandpappy feeling entitled to the physical labor of enslaved black people. Fast forward, here you are feeling entitled to the emotional labor of a black woman who not even talking about the shit you talking about how fearful you are, and you exist in white skin and I exist in black skin, and it's a new fucking reality for me and for my children and for my community. Black men and black women all across this country. But nah, come into my comments and tell me how the fuck you feel about some shit. That's why we don't want to talk to y'all no more. And you keep trying to force us into these conversations where we have to manage your feelings and your emotions. I don't give a fuck about you in no fetal position. I don't give a fuck about you crying every day. Go talk to your liberal white women friends about that shit. Go have brunch and have a powwow and just shout that shit from the rooftops. Go cry, go curl up, go do whatever y'all gotta do. But don't ask black people to help you feel better about existing in white skin. Don't ask black people to listen to you bitch and moan about your reality when our reality is going to be 50 times harder. Do y'all even stop and think before y'all do that shit? Do you even stop and think about how this is going to come off to these black people who ain't even talking about the fucking election right now? If I start telling her about how I feel about the election when she's talking to her community, do y'all even stop to think before you type out that long ass fucking shit that takes away and distracts me from talking to my community about some real shit? Are you even thinking about that shit? No, you're not. Unpack why that is. Since you want to be here, Unpack that shit. Unpack why you think it's okay when I'm talking about reading literacy, the breaking down of DEI, the breaking down of affirmative action. Why you thought it was okay for you to come in my comments and start boo-hoo-hooing over Trump, the election, and your feelings about it. What the fuck made you think that was a good idea? Unpack that shit. Deconstruct your racism. And leave me and other black people alone. That's all. Y'all have a good day. If you'd like to support my platform, I'll leave my Cash App and Venmo down in the comments.